show tables. Show all my tables, please. The whole database, the whole game. Here we see actions, avatar properties, avatar property types, channels. This is avatar is everything around the character. Channels. This is like the chat channels. Characters that we have just seen. That is my character. Character skills. This is going to be the skill system. What kind of skills you can choose. Character stats. That is where all the stats are stored. Not in use right now, but it's going to be big part of combat, I suppose. I mean, how strong your character is going to be. Chat logs, that is what you see here. That's a chat log. Even the combat log is a chat log. It's just a different type. Then you have combat action reactions. This is obsolete now, so that I could easily rename to a unused one, because this was the idea was here to like log, but I put it in a chat log, so obsolete. Game worlds, basically you can have different games, because in unlimited game worlds you could have a maximum of like 50 players on game worlds. That is an option. Or you could just have an MMO with 2,000 or 20,000 players. You could limit it, you could not limit it, you could make different. The idea is that I could make, like for DMs, that you could make your own game world, your own rules, your own game with the sets of tools that I will offer. Guild members, this is for the guild system. Guilds and guild members. The tables are in place. The system itself, no, not yet. These tables are already since 2014, so some tables have been adjusted though. I've been changing some stuff. Items, this is for all the items. Can you imagine that every item is unique in this game? So if something spawns, it is an item that is created in the table. Item stats, basically the stats for each item, although I think that is going to be obsolete, because I am putting all of these stats inside a JSON string now. So that might be gone as well, a table. Item templates, this is sort of like the loot table in a way. It's sort of like predefining how an item is going to be and what kind of things could be randomized. That will be all scripted in there. Item template stats, I think, will be obsolete once again. This might be just something that we... Yeah, or maybe it might be there because we have to base the randomizing on something. So we could define it in the item stats, item template stats. Then there's item types. This has to do with what kind of type it is, like whether the item is a sword or a weapon, better said, a weapon, or whether it's armor, or whether it's a a tool, whether it is a resource that you can craft with, all sorts of things. There's also something that's going to be called runestones. You have already seen some runestones, but those runestones can be used to craft portal stones and spell stones, so you can imbue them, and that's also a new item type. Then you have where were we? Here. Then you have maps. That is the maps that we have seen already defined there. The maps are also based upon this, the tiles. Let me come back to that later. Migrator versions, I'm not sure what that is about. I'm not sure even why that is there. That might be just a table from like a system I once installed. Monsters, that are the monsters obviously. These are the active monsters, including the dead ones in the world. They get deleted or soft deleted when they don't exist anymore in the world. So yeah, every monster is in that regard unique in the database. Monster stats, similar to character stats, will define what kind of statistics they have and what kind of buffs they run. Monster templates. This is where we define how we will spawn a certain monster once again. But it's not the actual spawn, but it is the template of the spawn. So if the spawn would be called for, then it would call one of the templates and create a new monster in this database. So it goes from this one, It finds a template and then it creates a new record in the monsters table. Then we have NPCs that are not monsters and not characters, right? So that are non-playing characters is the abbreviation for. They're going to be the quest givers. They're going to be the special things in the world. It can also be objects, I think, because I think that I will characterize also an object that you can click on, maybe as a NPC, maybe. Then there is shop items. This is part of the shops. So there are shops. There are shops for these NPCs, but there's also shops from characters in the world. So you could start a shop. You could, as a character, be logged off in the world, standing in a town or something, and have activated your shop, and then they could buy from you while you're offline as well. You just set the prices, so you can set the items in there and the prices for them. And maybe it's going to be barter, or maybe it's going to be like money. I'm not entirely sure yet. And then there's the skill level system and the skills. This is something I've recently created, this table and database part. Yeah, it's going to be complicated. I figured out that it's going to be very complicated, and I'm still not entirely sure if it's going to work out that way. But I hope so. And I hope I will work on this in the coming time. I don't think I will do it on stream, well, maybe. Who knows? Maybe on a Tuesday. But I might do it also offline, off stream. But skills is it's a lot of things in skills. I have to pick up a document to explain you the skills. Document as in a piece of paper, you know. Which one? Well, what are the skills? Well, we have unarmed is a skill. Swords or weapons, maybe. Knife, bow, arrow, spear, longsword, axe, staff. Those are all sort of the actual weapon skills, right? And then there is hiking, walking in a way, combat, very general, magic, fleeing, the skill in fleeing, swimming, rock climbing, carrying or weightlifting. And then there's a lot of magic types of skills. There's like all the elements in magic, including dark types and mental, insanity, mind control, poison, earth or nature, and lightning and fire and water and chaos and wind and blood. And then you have also the professions that are also skills again: herbalism, mining, and metal crafting, and blacksmithing, and woodworking, cooking, enchanting, fishing, hunting, scribing, and more. Yes, a lot. I have a lot of these documents, by the way. I have a lot of notebooks, logs, pages everywhere. Anyway, that's a skill level system, skill system, and the skill level system is then based upon how fast will you be able to gain a level in a skill, and what will that mean to the actual output of your damage, and how will it affect your game. Yeah, then we also have stat types. That has to do with the stats again. The item stats, the character stats, and the monster stats. And then there is support tickets and support ticket types. This has to do with the support system. Currently we're using this mostly for feedback. You are soon able to help me out testing this game. That's the idea, really, that you're all gonna make a character and play this game, or play this game for as much as there is to play. And if you find any bugs, you will be able to give me feedback on that. And then there is tiles and tile spawns. Tiles is sort of the map system. The maps have tiles beneath them, so every map has an ID, and all the tiles are part of that map. Tile spawns is simply defining whether something will spawn, like a monster or an item, and whether that monster will attack you or not. and also the chance for that. There's a chance calculator, so there is some randomizing there happening with the chance. If there's a chance of 20%, it's not very likely you'll come across the monster instead of an 80% chance, for example, right? And then I have tile visit logs. This has to do with this, if you remember, the fog of war system. So when you have visited this tile, it will add a record in here for this character. My character is blah blah, ID is 12, whatever my ID is, and then that person has visited this tile, so that is the table that will look up if you have visited the log, the tile. Then there's user log actions and user logs. This has to do with logging in the system of my game. This has much to do with debugging, and also much to do with if we have support teams, for example, and there's people having problems, that we as a support team can actually see in the logs what the player has been doing. They cannot be lying anymore. Like, I did this and then this happened. Yeah, right, and we can see it didn't happen because we see this and this happened. Or you deleted yourself. And of course the last one is the users. Users are the people who are able to log into the game. So yeah, first you create a user when you create and log into this game, and afterwards you create characters. And with the characters you play. And then we have seen all of the tables today.